Johnny Manziel will have his second chance. Tim Tebow tried other sports, but he's ready to return to football. After all the drama, Antonio Brown needs to prove himself with one season in the XFL. But why would they sign with the XFL? Besides the obvious, being a second chance, Vince McMahon is willing to invest $500 million into the league. They have the money to sign big name players, unlike the other leagues that came for one season and then disappeared because they were broke. Let's begin. By the way, we're getting closer to 100,000 subscribers. So if you like this channel, make sure you're subscribed, and you might as well hit the notification bell. So every week when I upload a new video, you're not gonna miss it. Honorable mention, Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel actually tweeted about the XFL, then deleted the tweet. So we know for a fact he's thinking about it. I mean, if you were willing to play arena football, which nobody watched, why not play in the XFL where there is actually an audience? And he's still young. If he dominates in this league, it's going to reboot his whole career. Forget about the past, forget about those terrible seasons in Cleveland. It would be his second chance. But if he was so bad in the NFL, what would be different? The defense in this league isn't that good. These are fourth string players. And more importantly, he wouldn't be on the Browns anymore. One of the most dysfunctional organizations in football, basketball, it doesn't matter what sport. It makes so much sense. Number 9, Antonio Brown. AB might be the most talented wide receiver alive right now. And somehow, he's not in the NFL. I'm not saying it's not his fault. He did this to himself. There are rumors of Antonio Brown teaming up with Tom Brady now that Brady is a free agent, but those are just rumors. Antonio Brown knows what he needs to do. Sign with the XFL and rebuild his legacy. With all the in-game interviews in the XFL, the players being mic'd up, could you imagine a controversial, electric personality like Antonio Brown? Not only would he be a big part of the league, he would be the face of the league. But more importantly, he can go back to doing what he does best and dominating at football. He's not even comparable to the other receivers in the XFL. He is miles better than even the other receivers in the NFL. It makes perfect sense for both sides. So AB gets another chance, and the XFL gets a huge superstar to promote their league. Will he be there long term? No, probably just 1 or 2 seasons, but that's enough. Number 8, Michael Vick. This is my favorite one of the video. In his prime, Michael Vick was one of the most exciting players to watch. Guys like Johnny Manziel and Antonio Brown, their end goal is to get back to the NFL. But that's not the case for Michael Vick. He's 39 years old, so why not just stay retired? What's the dream of every quarterback? To become a legend, to have a legacy. And guess what? Michael Vick's legacy was ruined at the end of his career by all the drama. I think if he signs with the XFL, he can play 2 to 3 very good seasons, rebuild his legacy, and retire off into the sunset. Number 7, Rob Gronkowski. Why did Gronk retire? Was he getting old? Not even a bit. He's still in his prime. My guess, he's sick of getting hit. Concussions, broken arms, he's had enough. So why would he go to the XFL if he's still gonna get hit? The difference is the level of defense. Is getting hit by an NFL linebacker like Bobby Wagner the same as getting hit by a high school linebacker? No. Am I saying the XFL players are high school talents? No. But it's something in between. He'd be able to avoid a lot of damage while still using his talent in his prime. But that's not even the biggest reason. Gronkowski is a businessman. He started to promote products, working on his brand, and guess what? the XFL is run by a businessman. Gronk knows that during those interviews, while being mic'd up, while he's being funny, think about all the people that would start watching the league because of him, just because of his name. He would absolutely dominate without question, become the best player in the XFL, and promote his brand. Number 6, Tim Tebow. In the NFL, Tim Tebow went from 0 to hero. Back to 0. Unlike other players in this video, he's not a huge talent. Tebow is like the Jeremy Lin of the NFL. They both had average talent, but they were both fan favorites. But here's the good news. You don't need insane talent. These XFL defenders are the backups of the backups in the NFL. Tim Tebow would become Lamar Jackson in this league. He switched to baseball recently, but it's not the right move. He's making a mistake. Listen to me, Mr. Tebow. Not many people are watching you play baseball, but I promise Tim Tebow would become must-watch TV every week in the XFL. Even if none of the other signings in this video happen, just Tim Tebow signing with the XFL would make it all worth it. Number 5. Chad Johnson, aka Chad OCHOCINCO. So far, we've had a lot of speculation. Maybe Manziel wants to sign. Maybe Gronk will come out of retirement. But for Chad Johnson, it's a fact that he wants to sign with the XFL. But here's the catch. He doesn't want to catch the ball. He wants to kick it. It's not that crazy. He's very good at soccer, and usually good soccer players can kick the football pretty well. I think the best case scenario, he plays both positions. Imagine this. 3rd down, Chad Johnson drops the ball, and now he has to go as the kicker for 3 points after just messing up the 3rd down. The drama, the excitement, and of course the big name Chad OCHOCINCO being in the league. And I've talked about electric personalities, controversial personalities. Chad Johnson is the funniest player in NFL history. Number 4, Jameis Winston. What? He's in the NFL. He just had a great season. Why in the world would Jameis Winston join the XFL? I know it seems unrealistic, but this might be the most realistic signing of the video. Jameis Winston was one bad season away from becoming a backup quarterback. And he had a good season, if you want to call it that. The Bucs had a top 5 defense, top 3 wide receiving core, and still didn't make the playoffs. While the fans might think he had a great season, NFL coaches and scouts know the real deal. And if Jameis has another season where he has 4 interceptions by halftime, he's losing his job. But here's the thing, Jameis Winston isn't a backup quarterback. He likes to be in the spotlight, just like he was in college and just like he is in the NFL. So instead of becoming a backup quarterback, Jameis Winston will sign with the XFL. If Antonio Brown signs, it will probably be for 1 year, then back to the NFL. If Gronk signs, maybe 1 or 2 years, then he'll retire. Winston is both young enough, talented enough, sort of, and definitely popular enough to be the face of the XFL for this decade. Numero 3, Vontaze Burfict. This might be the perfect fit in a bad way. Burfict is infamous for being the dirtiest player in NFL history. Some of the late hits he's done are just ridiculous. The most recent one got him suspended for the whole season. If I was running the XFL, I wouldn't sign him. But these guys want drama. Vince McMahon runs the WWE, which is fully based on drama. Could you imagine Vontaze Burfict being mic'd up? Him being interviewed after a big hit? It's probably a bad idea, but it would draw a lot of attention. With all his controversy in the NFL and after getting suspended last season, he's one bad hit away from being suspended from the NFL permanently. And Vince McMahon will be waiting at his door, ready to give him a big fat check. Number 2, Colin Kaepernick. Kaepernick almost signed with the AAF a couple years ago, another football league that tried to compete with the NFL. He wanted $20 million, the AAF had $20. But guess what? Vince McMahon has the money to do it. If Colin Kaepernick signed with the XFL today and his first game was next Sunday, tell me almost every football fan in the world wouldn't watch that game. Whether you love Cap or hate him, it doesn't matter. It'd be one of the craziest signings in football history, and more importantly, it'd give Cap a chance to show his football skills. A lot of the talk around Kaepernick these past few years has been about controversy, not about football. The best way he can change that is to play football and dominate. And number 1, what I think will be the biggest signing of an NFL player to the XFL, Dez Not a Catch Bryant. Dez Bryant was a top 3 wide receiver in his prime. Everybody knows that. What's an NFL player's prime? 28 years old? 30 years old? How old is Dez Bryant? He's probably like 35 at this point. Nope, he's 31. People act like Dez is too old, but the reality is he should be in the NFL. NFL teams are disrespecting Dez Bryant with bad offers. They think he's washed, he's injury prone, blah blah blah. What he should do is absolutely go off in the XFL for one season. Show NFL teams what they're missing out on and come back to the NFL. Wait, why would the XFL give him that platform if he's only going to use them to jump back to the NFL? Because it doesn't matter. You think they care? Dez Bryant is a top 10 most popular name in football. He has over 3 million followers on social, and every real football fan remembers the Dez didn't catch it situation. All of that publicity, all of that would come back and shine on the XFL for one season. Best NFL teams if they played for their college state team. You went to Alabama, you're on the Falcons. You went to Clemson, you're on the Panthers. That was my last video. Go watch it right now. I'll put it somewhere on the screen for you to click.